we're now here in the grand finale of today, not of the tournament. This is the semifinal, game number 2 in the semifinal. We got Beasty up against MarineLorD, a set that's usually kind of reserved for the finals, but we're feeling fancy today. We're giving it to you a little bit early in the semifinals. And look at that, we got the draft done. We got the first Civ pick in as well. We're going to be beginning with Sacred Grove with Malians up against Ottomans. Very interesting Civ picks here for MarineLorD overall.
Yeah, interesting one to see. A lot of Ottomans today. We've seen Ottomans a couple times today already. Going to see it again here against Malians. To nobody's surprise, HRE has been banned. However, I guess HRE and Roos. Roos was banned later on, but there was a chance MarineLorD could have taken Roos, opted not to. Or sorry, rather, Beasty had the chance to take. I'm getting my words crossed out, but in the end, they're all banned anyways. Chinese is going to be banned as well as Byzantines. Looks like the same 4 on either side. Neither player wanting to deal with those. However, Beasty has Malians to pick up right off the bat here on Sacred Grove. This map is an interesting map too, with how open it can be, but it almost reminds me in some ways of the pit. But instead of a pit, you got like just those wood lines that kind of divide it. So I kind of like that a little bit better. That you can kind of get through, but it kind of reminds me of that ever so slightly.
Yeah, these are some insane like Civ prioritizations here that we got. We got MarineLorD first picking Juji into Japan, Beasty first picking French into Malians. He's picked Malians now on Sacred Grove. MarineLorD answering that with Ottomans. I think maybe he was expecting a French play instead. So now we're seeing Mali versus Ottomans, which isn't the worst matchup. It's definitely like a very intense matchup between the two civs. A very, very action-packed one, I want to say.
Yeah, it's going to be probably high octane from the get-go on that one, with the chance to aggress those hit mines with the early spears. That should be a fun. It should make for a fun opener here in this best of 7 series. Winner of this one moves on to the grand finale tomorrow to face off against Louis, who just secured his spot just moments ago.
Interesting fun fact: if you're very drunk and you squint very hard, the flags from both players' home countries almost look identical. And if you turn your head,
if you're very drunk and you turn your head 90 degrees and you squint and maybe cover one eye, maybe.
Yeah, same colors.
Same colors. They have vaguely the same colors, I guess, you know.
We're getting there. The day's getting longer.
Well, we got just a couple seconds to dive into this. Which would you rather, if you were to pick who to play as on this map, Malians or Ottomans, which would you pick?
I think Malians, honestly. I think Mali, they just have a way better mid-game point in time. But we're about to see, because our countdown just hit 0. So we're jumping right on in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the semifinals, the last game, last set of the semifinals. We got Beasty in the color yellow, playing as the Malians, up against MarineLorD in the color pink. And he's playing as the Ottomans. And we're here on Sacred Grove.
Going for the quick stone drop-off, so we'll be having an early military school coming down from MarineLorD, I'm sure. And there it is.
It is.
I haven't seen this build yet today. Had a couple Dark Age barracks, but this time going for the immediate military school, so I'll probably have that spear in the queue.
MarineLorD, he's not known to be an innovator. Rather, he takes things that have been proven to work and then just masters them to perfection.
Yeah, I mean, perfection's kind of his MO, right? Like, very few mistakes from MarineLorD, if ever. Beasty, of course, the ever-resilient player, right? Beasty, just super resilient as a player, able to just hang in and extend games. Even when it looks like he's not winning, he'll just keep grinding it out until he does. So, it's kind of like honestly, unstoppable force meets unmovable object when it comes to these two players.
Beasty, he's been... I don't want to say that it's a transition at this point anymore. He's been like really expanding his scope of playstyle overall. I want to say within, just because it's been going like this for a while, within like the last 4 or 5 tournaments, I want to say like he's been, I'm not sure if it's just from practicing with more and more aggressive players, but he's been honing his skills overall when it comes to not just a laid back, like longer type game, but he's also somebody that now makes things happen in the early game, like right off the bat, puts on aggression. He's no longer like somebody that wants to get the tech advantage, but he's perfectly fine with playing from behind, from being behind in tech. And that's just something that I think really made him a much more like a oppressive as an opponent to play up against. And this it's something that we have a lot more, I want to say, like ability to gauge on just because he's been playing a lot more. Like, he's streaming every single day. MarineLorD, he's much more hidden on what he does and what he practices.
Yeah, Beasty's definitely becoming a very, very well-rounded player in his style. MarineLorD, though, yeah, you're right. A little more secretive, but always like, picture perfect in his movement and his macro. We see the first sheep being gathered as we see here, scouting out the map. I imagine that spear looks like it's on the way. His first spear on the way towards Beasty's pit mine, looking to maybe torch down a couple of houses. I'm curious how aggressive MarineLorD's going to get right off the bat against these pit mines. Feels like if you don't go kind of in pretty hard, really fast against Malians, things get to kind of slip away from them.
Yeah, looking at the sheep count, MarineLorD, he just had a ton of sheep following his scout, so he's looking good in that regard. Twin minute dress now coming in for him. He's going to get a ton more food from that now as well. Beasty, his scout didn't have that many sheep following behind him, so it might be a little bit more rough. Then again, Mali, they can play for early cattle as well. It's not really something that you want to do, but it means that you're not going to be like completely out of the game if you don't find a lot of sheep early on. Still going to be a rough spot to start off from. And we're getting an early mill. Could this be a sign of Beasty potentially going for an early pro scout play here? It feels like it. He also added an additional house on top of his earlier 6 around the pit mine, so got a little bit of bonus gold, and he's getting close to that 300 gold mark that you need.
I could definitely see him going for that. You know, not a ton of safe places to run on this map, so maybe getting those deer and bringing them home could help him get that cow boom online and other things moving first. Obviously, mauling, it's kind of like a giant snowball. Once it gets rolling, it gets really hard to stop. Of course, Ottoman's kind of the same situation later in the game. Obviously, their ultra late game is nigh unstoppable. Second spear on the way right now to join the first in torching down the first house. Antiquary almost complete now for Beasty, so he's in H2. And we'll see what he wants to go for.
I mean, he's getting the stable in,
That does scream pro scouts, yeah.
As villagers getting sent out, wants to repair that mud hut. Little house there.
It's got some wood on it now.
Not like
it's not just mud.
It's clay. Let's call it clay, yeah.
Okay. Mud hut.
Pretty much.
Every brick house is technically was once just a mud hut, right? Spears back off. No damage really dealt there besides just a little bit of repair time.
What's the definition there? Like, if you burn the bricks, is it no longer a mud hut?
I mean, I don't think of bricks as something that burns very easily either, but...
You harden them that way.
That's fair, that's fair. I guess that process makes them from mud to brick.
Pro Scouts is coming in now. And Warrior Scouts with Pro Scouts, they're a lot better than normal Scouts because they regenerate, because they're a little bit faster. Pro Scouts been nerfed time and time again, so you can still reasonably deny deer with Spearmen. But it's better for Malians compared to just normal, or rather other civilizations, because after you get the deer in, you can then use the Warrior Scouts to just be annoying on your opponent's economy.
See Spears already in position here, trying to suss out the pro scouts before they can happen. Looking to secure
Question's
that
always
and maybe deny
where he's going to go first. But yeah, Beasty, he didn't have that many sheep, so it makes sense that he prioritizes his closed deer immediately, just to get the food in as quickly as possible. We got the first Vizier point in. I'm guessing that's probably Anatolian Hills, just because that's what we usually see in. Yeah, there it is, Anatolian Hills. Interesting to see. It's actually mirrored depending on which side the player is on in the UI.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, wait, that was on the other side when it was the other
That's
side of the map. Here.
Okay.
Interesting little tidbit with the UI, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not actually cross-eyed. That was the game, yeah. Oh, second military school out already. We got production buildings coming in as well, an archery range, and an additional barracks. So MarineLorD looks like he wants to go a little bit ham against these pit mines now. Also tries to deny the pro scouts, of course.
Denying that rest of those deer, getting this house, it will go down. First Donzo coming out on the field for BC. He's also got an archer in the queue to deal with these pesky spears. So it's going to be probably a Donzo spear play into Sapahi spear. So BC, definitely a defensive comp. The question will be, can MarineLorD utilize the Sapahi well enough to do damage? Because Donzos are tricky to deal with that throw they get.
Ooh, lots of spearmen here.
Nice, scout goes down. So
Careful there. Yeah, these scouts are also expensive, a good bit more than normal scouts. MarineLorD has to be careful with his scout as well. Not one that he wants to have to reproduce, as he doesn't have a stable yet, as far as I can tell. Yeah, archers and Sipahi from the military schools and more spearmen coming in from his side. Wheelbarrow coming in as well. He's able to get a couple more deer in now.
Definitely like that 1-1-1 comp coming in from MarineLorD, going for spears, archers, and Sipahi. He'll be able to deny a lot of things if he can micro things well, which he's really good at doing. These top two players going at it as spears get on top of the Donzo and take him down. Archers, however, trying to return the favor. Scouts having to get out of dodge in time. Even a couple of venison carcasses on the ground.
Oh, Beasty, he was a little greedy there. Yeah, he went out for another pit mine there. Got the pit mine up, but now no houses around that. Beasty just adding in more and more archers at the time, for the time being. We don't have any javelin throws out from him yet.
That's a good pickup from MarineLorD there. A little bit of a mistake by Beasty, just getting a little too greedy, and MarineLorD able to capitalize and punish it immediately. So not only is that pit mine now going to cost an extra villager to get up, he also denies the timing of it just a little bit longer for the houses to go around it. So that's a nice little win. And those little wins, you know, they're small at first, but they can stack up. And at this level of play, gosh, you get one too many of those going your way and it's game over.
All right, got a stable in now. Beasty, he's going around. He's going to go for MarineLorD steer at the top side from the looks of it.
It's undefended right now, so if he can go sneak out there, he'll get them.
7 warrior scouts, he's going to take all of them in a single trip.
Yeah. One whole fell swoop and all the deer are gone. Meanwhile, MarineLorD on the deer out front with a mill of his own and villagers sitting on it.
Good economy income from there. Always has those 10 sheep from the Anatolian Hills to fall back to underneath his CC. Yeah, Beasty about to secure himself 2,500 food. Actually, there's some spearmen moving out right now. MarineLorD, he anticipates it. Beasty, though, with enough warrior scouts
one
there.
Too many warrior scouts. Yeah, those spear has to back up. He cannot fight that single-handedly.
But now,
there's no denying this.
They start picking up the deer. They start becoming slower. At the same time, MarineLorD also this is going to be very, very taxing on the multitasking now. Just doing a good job there as well. We're seeing the first couple of javelin throws making their way out now as well. MarineLorD doing an excellent job with the micro here, up against the Donzos with the archers.
Spears and Donzos going down. Yeah, Donzos and like Donzos just gone. I mean, they're just gone along with the scouts. Meanwhile, more scouts going down from more spears away. The Gonzos with the Donzos. Still getting a good number of deer in. Beasty has most of that pit mine now up and going, however. Things feeling very tight, however, and close as both these players kind of inflicting a little bit of damage as they go. MarineLorD, though, definitely playing out on the map and being very aggressive. Yeah, not keeping the pressure up on Beasty for the time being. But this is also kind of where Beasty excels, right? Beasty really does well under pressure. So if anyone can handle it, he'd be the guy to do so.
You apply pressure, he makes diamonds. That kind of saying goes here.
Second visitor point just clicked in. Is that going to be the imams or something else? Maybe the extra military school? I'm not sure.
I believe it should be the extra military school.
Yep, extra military school.
Yeah, it is the extra military school. There we go.
Makes sense given this composition. MarineLorD wanted to keep the production going. We see the meta out on the field now, giving the buffs to the units.
He's securing some more deer right in front of his base. Those were necessary. Those were the ones that MarineLorD has been denying here for a long time. Beasty really needed them in. It's about to start idling underneath the TC. Some more mud huts getting burnt now. Shouldn't that make them stronger?
You know, clay huts.
Yeah. Like these, that's the thing, right? These are just
by firing them. Yeah. If it was a mud hut, you think that
with wet
fire
clay, and then you burn them, and then they should become stronger.
It turns into a brick hut. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's confusing. Maybe just don't think about it too much. Sipahi diving in, trying to get onto the jabs.
With archers firing
Spears,
on ships,
Donzos,
just add more wood.
Spears and Donzos duking it out. Some jav throwers behind this.
He's still doing such a great job of just sniping down the Donzos every single time. And that means that MarineLorD's able to scale more and more into Sipahi composition. And once he has just enough Sipahi, he can start really pushing in with them.
Yeah, this is starting to look like a bit of a scary mass from MarineLorD. Numbers now 37 to 23. So MarineLorD with a slight military edge. He's also got more economy as well. He's killed 2 villagers. Houses going down. The pit mines getting torched.
Castle H behind this.
Yeah, MarineLorD looking really good right here.
Yeah, this is insane.
Pro Scouts play is taking too long to pay off for Beasty, it feels like.
Not sure if it's too long to pay off. It's just MarineLorD denied it for a good enough time.
Well, yeah.
Beasty, like all these smaller engagements that Beasty took with his army, MarineLorD did a great job of never letting Beasty snipe out reinforcements, or at least not too many of the reinforcements. And every time they took a fight, like MarineLorD took the better end of the trade there in these small little engagements, all just kind of adding up now to this.
Meanwhile, MarineLorD is getting the benefit of sitting on the deer himself. So it's not like the food's getting outpaced. He's on his own deer. Now, this is a good amount of Beasty units here to push things back.
And there it is, Mammoth Imperial Armory coming in.
That Castle Age timing is going to feel very brutal for Beasty.
Oddly will be, but I think he notices that something's up. He's now pushing forward.
Yeah, he knows
Gotta make the
time.
most
He
out of
has
his
the
military.
feeling.
And these players are
MarineLorD
so
walking on the
great
other
when it
side.
comes to instinct as well.
Yeah, they just know, and I think that's one of the things that makes a really good player great is just that game awareness of knowing where you're at and where your opponent probably is at. That scout's not going to make it out there with that deer. He needs to drop and run or take the loss. Oh, he gets away. Oh no, okay.
No.
I was gonna say
In the end,
there was a
gets
second there. I got excited.
Beasty behind this,
Beasty
he's
posturing.
got a couple of cattle. Not that many to really be, like, fine with the age up now from MarineLorD. This is still gonna hit him, and he's gonna be like, okay, man, this is brutal.
I mean, because MarineLorD almost has enough resources to age up to a Castle Age again if he wanted to. So he's going to be able to reinvest all of that. Beasty waiting for the timing now, pushes in. Military School's first on the docket to be torched. Jabs looking for somewhere to poke. He's got to be careful not to overextend this, though.
Yeah, MarineLorD is just getting the upgrades in behind this. We're getting veterancy on the spy, veterancy on the archers in as well. Is this maybe a fight that MarineLorD might want to wait to take a little bit before the upgrades are through? Because right now, Beasty actually has more military count. Beasty's actually luring MarineLorD's army outside of his base. We do have like one single man-at-arms here at the moment at the front line, which is doing a good job of tanking a couple of the Donzos here. The Donzos are actually still getting sniped out.
This is going to conclude before the upgrades come in.
Winning it.
But MarineLorD's still going to take
without the upgrades.
Jabs have nowhere to go, and that's game called within 20 minutes.
That is GG. I did not expect it to go this way. That was crazy. The military mass from the Ottomans here. And every single time, these small little engagements, even though Beasty has got 1,000 more resources gathered overall, like these little engagements, time and time again, MarineLorD took them for himself. And in the end, it starts adding up.
Well, it's like I said, those little tiny mistakes, like dropping the villager on the pit mine, like a small mistake, but at this level with these two players, it's the world of difference, right? And we saw it just slowly trickle up where MarineLorD just suddenly was able to go castle and still maintain unit production. Incredible quick game, too. I mean, within, but not even 16 minutes and we were done. And game one goes to MarineLorD in this best of 7 set.
Just like big shout out to the instincts of both players, like the army movement from MarineLorD, just moving a couple of spearmen out to the top side deer and actually being able to deny all of those deer there. All of those scouts are making it back with the deer there with just these two spearmen then. And also from Beasty, like deducting, okay, my opponent's probably aging up just from MarineLorD's army moving back and using that time to immediately move forward. I mean, not quite found. Even though he took the fight before the upgrades come in, Zapai honestly just being a really good unit there. Beasty losing his army and then without enough military, without the prospect of aging up himself, had to call GG there. Means that MarineLorD is going to be leading in this set now by 1 point.
Yeah, and that's a huge first game, right? In the game that could probably go the distance. Taking game one feels really good, but of course, the reverse sweep is still definitely possible as well. You never know what you're going to get with these two players, especially when they're both been playing at such a high level. But yeah, this last fight, there weren't enough Donzos. They just got picked off by the archers of MarineLorD so quickly, and Spy then had just enough gas in the tank to go after at the rest of the units, and that just was it. Because really, I mean, being down in age with no easy path up, it's tough. It's tough, especially when you've had your pit mines already torched. But we're going to go on to Gorge. It's going to be French versus, for the first time today, House Lancaster for MarineLorD.
The demon civ, so to say. But Beasty with the French is definitely no slouch there. And I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Like, Beasty's French is definitely a force to be reckoned with. And those knights, like the things that Beasty pulls off with just a couple of knights raids, keeping his opponent in his base the entire time. It's kind of wild. It's kind of like an art whenever you see Beasty play French, because like for the longest time, I want to say, like, French was one of the civilizations that was most used up against Beasty, and now he's made it his weapon, which is kind of a little bit romantic, so to say, the relationship that Beasty had with French.
He's definitely turned it into a strength to use against others, and so now going against House Lancaster, I feel like this is a matchup you feel pretty good if you're playing as French into House Lancaster, because what's Lancaster going to do? They want to get their passive eco going, and French wants to just go full aggro. I feel like the matchup feels pretty good. Of course, Lancaster has a penchant to produce lots of trash units, right? Lots of spears, lots of yeoman archers. So you got to be mindful. But if anyone can out micro this, Beasty could be the one to do it. I mean, these two players obviously usually are people's top two in the world, right? It's usually you either have MarineLorD or Beasty in 1 and 2 somewhere, and how you rank it's up to you any given day. But yeah, I think Beasty's French here will be fun to watch, especially to see how MarineLorD tries to hold off.
All right, I think it's time. I already hear some in-game noises, so that does make me believe that we are getting ready. There we go, game number 2. MarineLorD 1 point up on the board. Now it's Beasty's turn to get a point on the board for himself. We got Beasty playing in the color yellow as the French up against MarineLorD in the color pink, playing as the House of Lancaster, and got a Dark Age opening here. And a 2 scout opening for Beasty.
This is so fun to see. You know, 2 scouts used to be the meta at one given time years ago. I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago.
This makes sense up against House of Lancaster, because remember, like, House of Lancaster, they get a lot quicker food income from sheep. So, of course, you want to take sheep away from them. And French, they get their scout out faster. And Beasty, he's gonna see the spearman as well. There we go, he knows.
Oh, the amount of information you just learned from that is huge.
Yeah, and also the way that MarineLorD's going right now, it's already been scouted. There's a second scout. It's forfeit. Oh, there's a sheep potentially in the middle, but nobody sees it. Okay, random sheep.
Couple sheep. Well, most of them are on the wings, random. A couple in the middle. 3 spears in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, but BC is just pulling more villagers over to gold. He's going to get the gold that he needs for the age up in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, he's just going to take the damage and just call it and be good. First villager down to about half health now. Spearman going... Die. I loved in the patch notes when they said they made the horseman stab a little more aggressive. And I really enjoyed reading that.
Oh man, it's so much better now. It's so much better now.
It is.
Horseman attacks so much quicker. It's amazing.
It was a really silly. They used to really feel silly. We're just kind of like poke. It's like being tapped on the forehead.
The arm just moves in like slow motion, like
take that. A little more. I love reading that though. Horseman animation more aggressive. It's like slightly more aggressive. It's like, oh good, glad, because it was kind of pathetic before.
Glad we could make that happen. Overall, MarineLorD, he still has a decent amount of sheep that he got there. So 6 sheep on his side. House of Lancaster, obviously, they spawn with 4 additional sheep baseline with fast gathering. So this is looking decent. This is looking good. Beasty's also got a good amount of sheep. So both players have to be like semi-happy, I want to say, with each other. And also behind this, Beasty lamed the deer. So no deer luring, at least from that one patch. There's still one close one to MarineLorD that could be lured over.
Yeah, it's the Dark Age aggression. It is going to slow down some night production from Beasty, and heck, it could also slow down his pro scouts if that's what he wants to go for as well. So there is definitely value in what MarineLorD did, even though he didn't get any Vil kills. Just that delay of nights can make such a big difference as we see the Lancaster Castle being put right next to the gold mine. We imagine that the manors will come soon around after and secure that for MarineLorD. But yeah, it's still worth it. I love that he's using those spears now.
Yeah,
a little bit.
The spawn's a little bit rough for him because the stone is very far away on the other side from the gold. And now Beasty coming in with that scout is going to start denying a little bit of the deer lure here. But MarineLorD, I think he's got to be happy with this because the deer are already pretty close to the Lancaster Castle, meaning that no is also
Trying to
luring
scatter
the
him.
deer away. Because if the deer are next to Lancaster Castle, you can just put a nice little manor next to it and secure the deer that way.
Yeah, this will definitely be safe for MarineLorD to gather from. But you're right, that stone on the side is kind of the one detriment he has to his spawn. That's definitely where Beasty's probably going to send at least a couple knights at some point. I imagine he'll be doing that and then trying to obviously take down the stuff by the gold.
This castle about to come in. Age up is now through. Should be placing an archer range in order to get rid of that one spearman. First couple of villagers on stone for the manor play.
Archery range immediately for Beasty. I guess that makes sense, knowing that MarineLorD will be making more spears. Oh, that's plus 25 wood in MarineLorD's favor for taking out the mine. But again, kind of just a rounding error for French to get that extra bit of wood.
Yeah. I mean, even if Beasty isn't able to like make knights immediately, he can at least prepare scouts ahead of time.
Yeah. And we see that that's what he's doing. He's already going to have another one in the queue. He's going to have 3, now 4. So Pro Scout's definitely on the menu. He will need to wait to get the gold going for that, though.
And should prepare the wood, though, and now can just pull a lot of villagers over to gold. Yeah, that's a lot of villagers that I think he just pulled over to gold.
That'll get there really quick.
Yeah,
I imagine he's not going to need a lot
10
more.
villagers.
He's not going to need as much wood. I mean, he'll need some for the archers moving forward, but he's going to want to get a lot of gold to get the Pro Scouts, and he wants to get that first knight coming up soon, too. Spears are upgraded now from MarineLorD.
Yeah, the question is now, when is MarineLorD going to stop with the manors? Is he going to stop at 3? Is he going to go to 6?
I feel like you got to be careful not to get too greedy with this.
Absolutely.
I feel like the meta is still very much in flux, right? I don't know if there's really a right or wrong answer just yet that's been figured out. But in my personal experience, and take this with a grain of salt, everyone at home, I'm not that great of a player personally, but from my experience, every time I've played against Lancaster and they've gone for like 6 or more, if they go for the full 6 or 9, it just feels too greedy and it feels too easy to punish.
So
So
I think 6
I
is
feel like
reasonable.
6 is reasonable, but trying to go for like all 9 and then fast casting on top of that is just way too greedy at almost any level of play. So I imagine the 3 here is a good start. I think 3, you have to do the full 3.
Yeah.
And then after that, going for 6 or more, I think you wait a little bit to see what your opponent's doing and what your plan is. But I would lean towards 3 and then looking to age up. But maybe there's something to be said about going for the 6.
The thing that I like to do with House of Lancaster is you just go for the 6 manors and then immediately get the demi-lancers in. And having all these demi-lancers, it's just nice to have a unit that's quick, even if they don't do a ton of damage, just to be able to harass and annoy your opponent. And we are getting the upgrade in, so we are getting probably
at least
6 manors in, yeah.
And you're right, the Demi-Lancer play, you only get to use that button once. So the more of those you have up, the more you value get out of it. But it feels good to keep those alive into castle if you can too. Which is why I think a lot of people at lower levels will try to go for as much as they can, then hit that button and castle up and get the castle age version of the Demi-Lancers. At any rate, we see
Now
the first of
starting to
the
get some
venison coming
knights
in.
Yeah. Venison coming in, we got some knights in. And he's also taking all the 8 scouts. Yeah, he's taking a lot of the deer now, taking the deer from MarineLorD there immediately.
And it didn't work as Malians, but it might work here as French, as he just decides to take all of that for himself. And you might as well, right? Because you know your opponent has extra food. They're going to get the passive food. You can't let them get any extras on top of that.
MarineLorD
A really cheeky
is
play
now
would
also
be
getting
to,
the blacksmithing upgrade. And not the blacksmith, he's getting the
specialized
mining
pick?
upgrade, which
Yeah.
which makes me 100% think that now it's just going to be a transition into fast castle age behind that. He's just
think
going to send a
so.
lot of villagers over to gold. He's going to probably, I want to say, age up with the college landmark. I don't think there's a need to go for White Tower here in the situation.
Yeah, you
Now
feel
we
pretty
also
good
going
at
to
this
see
point.
some
There's not that many knights.
demi-lancers.
Now, there's not a lot of knights out in the field right now. He'll probably wait to hit the Demilancer button when he has 6 of these manners up.
You can do it before. Like, it takes 30 seconds for the upgrade to come in, so you can do it immediately if you build the manor with, like, 3 villagers. You can put, like, queue it at the same time. But he doesn't have that much gold in the bank, so I think maybe he's going to age up first. It might be too greedy to age up first. I think maybe he needs to click the button. Pull the lever.
Beasty looking to get some damage done here. Walking around, seeing what's going on. He knows that there's some deer over there.
The issue is that he can't really, like, just dive that.
No, he really can't. With the spears sitting there as well, and then all those manners that just kind of poke you to death. We do see, you're right. So kudos to you. Calling it on the King's College, being brought up with 12, and then a bunch of stables. Looks like it's going to be knights for MarineLorD. Speaking of knights, here they go underneath the... Well, they were thinking about going underneath.
That people refer to as the Jiggly build. There is a famous game.
Oh, no, there's another?
Insiders get this game. That Jiggly played together with Baltune, where he went House of Lancaster and tried to, like, make fast knights. And he failed so miserably that he made Baltune rage quit.
Yeah, I can see why. A lot of gold. I mean, you know, it feels like Beasty's playing a little bit passive here. He's really waiting for that food to kick in. He's getting siege engineering right now, though. So I suppose he's going to start trying to ram this down. I don't know how well that's going to work. He doesn't have the military for this. Demilancers will probably pop out here in just a second.
Yeah, they will. And that's kind of like the bait with the civilization in general. Like, you think you got a timing? Well, guess again. There's triple knights about to be coming out, and these are stronger than the feudal age knights. And together with the Demilancers, there's a nice enough meat shield that Beasty's knights might not be able to get the hits in on the knights that they actually want to kill. Also, one of the knights kind of stuck in that ram. There we go, now he's out. Ram's coming in. MarineLorD, as soon as he sees the ram, he's going to pull the Demilancers back.
Yeah, here they are. This is... Looks a bit scary. It looks scary on its face value, but I think MarineLorD's going to have more than enough to deal with this. Mana might go down. Color
Fessus. +6 damage up against armored units. Once that comes in, he can easily take that fight. Beasty behind this is prepping the spearman play. He's gonna have an answer to the spears, to the knights. One manor going down.
Cat and mouse, yeah, one goes down. That doesn't seem like a ton of value, though. I mean, it's something. The ram is still at full health, anyways.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Demilancer looking to do some damage in the back of Beasty's base. Not finding a lot there. Oh. Maybe one villager kill.
MarineLorD. He didn't chase down the army from Beasty. But now with the spearmen there as well, he might not be able to get that as good of an engagement up against the archers.
Yeah, once the spearmen join the main force, that's going to suddenly be what could have been an easy fight to a not so easy fight. Still down only to 5 manners. Needs to get that 6th one up at some point. Doesn't have anyone on stone to do so, though.
Not really thinking about it at the moment from the looks of it.
Yeah, probably not.
Making units. Starts now getting some monks out as well for relic gathering. He has to be careful because now MarineLorD, he's got a pretty good army and can also like move out. We're now seeing Yeoman in as well.
Yeoman would be really helpful against what spears and archers that Beasty's been making. As long as he can make sure he keeps them safe behind and not attacked by those knights. That's a lot of knights coming in with 2 rams as they get close to fight under the Lancaster castle. And here comes the dive. Everything gets pulled back, villagers included. The castle getting torched up.
Wasting a little bit of time on the keep. It's not going that like down as quickly as a manor would. And MarineLorD, yeah, he's going to use that time now in order to pull back his army. I don't think MarineLorD would even mind the Lancaster castle going down, but he is going to take the fight just before it is going down. There's engagements coming in now.
He can save it.
And these knights are going to do so much more damage against armored units coming in now. This fight can be brutal. Pathing also difficult because of the landmark. It's still body blocking. It's going to go down. Yeoman still focusing down the spearman. Spearman now gone. Knight count is getting dangerously low now. For Beasty.
Down to 4.
Archers now firing onto Yeoman.
Archers have nowhere to run.
He's doing it.
Demilancers and knights are going to find them. More come in from the flank. Archers dropping like flies, and the last of the knights don't have really much else to do either.
Landmark's down, but Beasty's military is down as well, and he's still very far from aging up. And his gold might
And
also
once
be running
again,
out soon.
It feels like we just watched the same thing play out twice, where Beasty's trying to go for pro scouts, and instead, in this time, he tried to be the aggressor, but just kind of backfired once again. MarineLorD with enough
maybe a
time in
little bit-
castle to secure enough of a military lead. Some spears coming out now for Beasty, trying to hold on to some things here. But the knight count, I mean, he lost all those knights. Now, something like this will help a little bit, you know, taking off the monks, keeping the relics away from MarineLorD. But gosh, everything else being equal, it's 51 to 48 economy, 19 to 19 military, but you're down in age.
Villagers.
Oh! Knights, Demon Lancers finding a way in, getting him off the gold. So even if he wanted to go Castle Age or make more knights, it's just going to be that much harder.
MarineLorD somehow lost another manor behind this. I didn't actually see the second one going down, but yeah, it did get taken down. So he's on 4 out of 6 manor. He just pulled more villagers over to stone so he can start rebuilding those.
At this point, though, I mean, Beasty can make a lot of spears, but I just feel like it's going to give MarineLorD an opportunity to switch into Yeoman behind this.
Yeah, and once MarineLorD gets the Lancaster Castle back up, he's going to be able to levy a lot more of those yeomen. See, now moving over to the gold villagers. MarineLorD, I'm not sure, like maybe he still has enough units there to deal with that, but we're up to 17 spearmen now. That's quite a lot. And
he needs more
archers
yeomen to
might
match
be
that.
able to do, like, to take a fight up against the yeoman composition. Be difficult.
Beasty ever good at hanging into the game if he can. It was looking really scary there for a split second, but able to hold on, remass. Those spears are always a prickly thorn. Knights and Demon Lancers have to back away. It always feels weird when French starts building spears, as they get a great brace onto the Demon Lancers, holding them there, stabbing them to death, going down the front line, just getting evaporated. Knights still on the north side, however. Archers and Yeomen duking it out on the sides. But man, those spears getting a lot of good value trades into the Demon Lancers. As more go down here.
Nightmare there as well, though.
Yeah.
The archers traded out well against the yeomen, but the spearmen did still get cleaned up at the end of the day. And MarineLorD's economy is still looking better here behind this. Still has those like relics now as well working. A lot of passive income on top of the manors. Beasty's gonna have to remass, has to regroup behind this. Also trying to find his way to the age up now, reinvesting into more knights still.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? He may have, like, if they were both in H3, this would have been fine. Problem is he's
MarineLorD
not.
has
He needs to win a
1,500
decisive
gold.
fight. Yeah, if they
Behind
were
all
both in the
that.
same age, it'd been fine. But because he's down by so much,
Finds a knight,
good
but
raid here,
aw,
but
he was
Civil
weak.
Defense Force, short bows
Yeah.
come out to finish him off.
Still more and more units coming out. Beasty's not giving up on the feudal age aggression. MarineLorD now realizing, hey, maybe he's got a little bit too much gold. Moving some villagers over to the berries. Relic number 3 now coming in behind all of this as well. MarineLorD still massing up these yeomen now.
Beasty does not have any gold income right now.
Yeah, he just moved the villagers out to the next gold vein.
Oh man, that's just asking to be raided at some point. But MarineLorD doesn't have a lot to raid with at the moment. Relics coming
The
in.
relic number 3. Number 4 also on the way. Ringleton placement is in on the outpost. Fortification is in queue. Spearman could torch that down ahead of time, but now with the reinforcement. And now the fortification is going to be coming in on that outpost. The
Yeah, that
window.
spot's not going to be open anymore. However, more raids on the side. Beasty's getting a
closing.
pickup, I think, are there. But yeah, the window's
Nice.
closing quick.
Gotta try and raid in order to stay in the game, but it's really looking grim like as the game goes on. MarineLorD really didn't leave anything like to burn there on the cooking stove.
No,
Now we're
playing
at
very
that point
clean.
where Yeoman got all the bonus movement speed that they have, the bonus attack range as well. It feels so devastating trying to run from them. Basically trying to pull behind the wood line in order to get minimum distance for the next engagement. Raids happening at the same time, but there is still knights in the background. Back of the economy, BC still trying to get more value out of this fight. Archers pushing in forward. But a spearman I
It's
can't.
just tough. The Yeomen are just so quick, fleet of foot, able to get out of range of those knights time and time again. Trading out fairly evenly, but now more knights coming in from MarineLorD, and there's just not a lot going for Beasty
This is
here.
it.
He's trying
Yeah.
to raid behind this, but he's only killed 2 villagers. Sorry, I think only one
There we
villager,
go.
actually. I don't think he's actually gotten any kills, really. Meanwhile, more knights trying to save things, but just not enough. It's just a massacre as MarineLorD takes another fight.
Normally, in these matchups, you're able to trade out with Feudal Age Knights up against Castle Age Knights, but you can't do that against the House of Lancaster Knights because they get +6 damage up against armored units. And
They're
just
so
like
good at
that,
dealing
they
with
just
other,
do,
like, heavy
yeah, they
units
do
like that.
so much more damage.
MarineLorD's just been taking such great fights. Every time Beasty's been throwing everything. Every time Beasty does this, he delays his own Castle Age. And really, it feels like Castle Age just isn't an option anymore. Spear's trying to get a brace, trying to get some good fights. It's like, even if Beasty trades out well, he's still never close enough to Castle Age. And GG's called. There it is. There's just no avenue to get caught up.
Yeah, quick 2-0 at the moment for MarineLorD. Both games pretty quick here so far, and how they played out. Beasty, he's going to have to really think about this game number 3 now. He's used 2 very, very strong civilizations so far, but MarineLorD, he's been looking really, really clean. And this is kind of devastating so far.
There's not a lot of mistakes. MarineLorD just not making a lot of mistakes today. And I wonder if maybe going that heavy into scouts, that Beasty went like 7 or 8 scouts there. That was a lot of food invested. I'm wondering if that just was too heavy. I don't know. It just feels like from the get-go with the Dark Age play that it just kind of slowed Beasty's timing down. And from then on, it just gives MarineLorD the time he needed to get ahead to win.
That was a good play with the Pro Scout. Beasty did get most of the deer in, but the engagement, the ram push, the timing, it just wasn't there. I don't think you can do the ram push with the Pro Scout. Just delays you too much. And MarineLorD, by the time the ram come in, you already had like almost similar army value, I want to say, with the Lords of Essex as well. Like, you can just see those knights melted underneath the hits from those knights and demi-lancers. It's just so much bonus damage coming through there. It's pretty much impossible to take any decent engagements, even if you still have Feudal Age Knights.
Yeah, definitely. The demi-lancers are just too good at dealing with feudal units like that are heavy armored.
Ooh,
and so
this next one, though.
Yeah, we're going to look ahead here to game 3.
Matchup. Yeah,
Japanese.
He's just gotten a really
Mongols.
good matchup, and Japanese is like, Japan is really weak up against Mongols, I want to say.
I would probably agree with that. Yeah. So, and BC's good with Mongols too, in my opinion. He's quite dangerous to them. And Relic River's a fun map for that too. That it feels like the distance between town centers isn't as much as it is on some maps.
Hmm.
Maybe that's just my perception of mine that it's missed a little bit, but it feels like you're a little bit closer than some maps would be. You always know where your opponent's going to be at any rate.
Yeah, and there's not the resources are fairly far outside of your base.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if we're gonna get something like a dog play from Japan. I know they like going for fish early on, and there is the play potential for it. But it feels kind of bad trying to go for that against the civilization. Yeah, it feels bad doing that against a civilization that's notorious for going for Dark Age Spearmen, even double producing them.
Yeah, that seems like it would not be enough return on the investment, right? But I mean, alternatively, you're in your base getting tower rushed anyways, so it's a tough matchup. This is probably one of the better drafts we've seen for Beasty here. Got a good chance to bring this series back into a competitive stance, 2-1 if he wins it. Otherwise, if he loses this one, he's going to have his work cut out for him to continue on.
Indeed, he will. I mean, this is a tough one. Already being down 2 points, and these were fairly quick games. There's always the issue with what that does to your mental state. Now, Beasty and MarineLorD, both of them, they've been playing the game for quite a long time, especially in the tournament scene. We're at the stage where I want to firmly say that there is just no way that nerves are really playing a big factor here in this game. I want to say, like, even if BC's behind by 2 points, I don't think this is going to have that big of an impact. He's more than experienced enough.
Yeah, I agree. These players have been in this situation time and time again. They've played at this level for so long now. Maybe there are some nerves that get in there, but not enough that we're ever going to be able to tell the difference, right? I'm sure for Beasty, he just knows he needs to just, buckle down. And if anything, being down 0-2, I feel like that makes Beasty just become even more dangerous in some ways, right? He's just going to really try. Now he's going to be really, really trying to take a game. So MarineLorD obviously wants to take this one and have match point if he can. But we've got a minute and a half to figure out what we feel about this matchup before we dive in. So Crack, it sounds like you would be happy with Yeah, Relic River is really interesting. It sounds like you'd be happy, and most people I think would agree to be the Mongols in this position against Japanese. If you're Japanese, like what do you do to hold off the push that almost inevitably comes from Mongols? I mean, part of it's spawn dependent, right? But on this map in particular, because it's kind of open, you don't have a lot of safe wood on this map. It's kind of, you got like a small patch. And if that gets towered up, I feel like long term you're just kind of in a world of trouble.
I don't think it's really about the wood. It's about the gold, because you got to go up to Castle Age to really make something happen with Japan. But if you're getting tower rushed, it's very difficult to stop that or be there in time in general to do something about that. In the current meta, though, we do see Japan opening up with Dark Age barracks a lot more often than we're used to. So potentially, maybe Japan could fight off against Mongols here in Dark Age. Not something that we're really too used to, especially since you can't really make samurai. Maybe if you mix in samurai with spearmen, you can't go pure samurai. They're just too slow, and they can get surrounded relatively easily. It's definitely going to be an interesting one, but we're going to see how it plays out in just a little bit. Countdown has reached 0. We're about to be going into our game number 3. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Our game number 3 in the semifinals. Beasty up against MarineLorD. Mongols against Japanese here on Relic River. At the spawns, I mean, this is a pretty decent spawn, I want to say, for BC. He's got the wood line and the Uwu right next to the TC. The gold's not that far off. And it's a forward stone, so if he wants to go for aggression, he already has the potential to put the barracks forward. So that's walking time.
And on the counter of that, MarineLorD's gold right up front. Probably not where you want that against Mongols. Easily visible. We see the bird,
no Dark
the one
Age
flying
barracks.
unit being sent out. Yeah, no Dark Age barracks from MarineLorD. Just moving straight onto the gold.
It's gonna be an
It's a
interesting
lonely little hilltop right there.
Yeah. So there's also, like, looking at the other potential gold spots for MarineLorD, it's not like he can go out on the other side of his base and gather up gold there. He's gonna really have to fight for his gold mine in Feudal Age.
Yeah, all of his gold is forward, so if he loses that one, it's gonna be scary. We might have a bunch of quick games on our hand today. I feel like last series, all the games, not that they were super long, but they weren't short by any means, right? And so far, we've had two relatively quick games in succession of each other. So how this one will play out, I'm really curious to see how the Dark Age pans out for Beasty and MarineLorD here.
Yeah. There's a couple of spearmen now coming in for Beasty. Can we quickly check how many villagers does Beasty have on wood? Because okay, it's 3 villagers, so we know that this isn't just going to be only spearmen. There's going to be spearmen into an outpost rush.
See the first 2 away, heading across towards the river.
MarineLorD already has the resources now to be able to age up. Might still lose control of the gold, which is going to be painful.
Yeah. That's the tricky thing, right? Is Japanese don't want to play in feudal that much. They'd be much happier getting up to Castle Age and then feeling it out.
Yeah.
Villager right behind these 2 spears, just out of view of the screen.
Ooh.
And
Watch already gotten destroyed, so no bounty to be had there. And no Coca Township as well, so not going to be going for Shinobi or anything like that. Be one way to try and counter out the spearmen, but just going to go Kuro Storehouse.
I think it's the better call.
Oh, that's I feel like good outpost there.
Watching the berries and the gold, kind of cutting off that northern route to the gold up north as well. This is going to be tricky. This is going to force MarineLorD to have to play in feudal. He has no choice. Whether he wants to or not, he has to do something about this in the feudal age.
Yeah. Question that I'm asking myself here, are we going to see mass Yumi archers in this game? Potentially.
Potentially. It's been... I mean, what else do you have, right? You go like Onobugeisha or something, but then it feels like your opponent just makes spears or makes archers.
Yeah. Not just mass archers, but Mangadai are actually really good against the Onobugeisha.
Oh, yeah. You just kite them for days. Aiming some more deer. I think we've seen that in just about every single game.
All about the deer luring these days.
Interesting the effects that the Pro Scouts meta has had upon all of us.
2 years from now, we're going to be looking back at Pro Scout meta, and there are two scenarios. Either we're going to be looking back and are like, man, it was so much better those days, or we're going to be like, man, how did we survive those days?
I mean,
There's
we
no
still look
in-between,
back at the
either
early
or.
season. I mean, I remember the days of the Springald meta, right when the game released, where it was just mass Springolds everywhere. I definitely don't miss those days. So maybe it'll be the latter.
You know, the first couple technical tests where you could have 20 Nest of Bees win against 100 Horsemen.
Oh, the dark days.
Yeah, they were indeed very
So,
dark. We're getting a
an
mix
answer, it's gonna be a bit of both.
infantry here now.
Yeah, maybe Samurai Yumi.
Maybe
I'm wondering if
Samurai
he'll go
Yumi,
out-
maybe on a
maybe on a
Begeisha
Begeisha
Yumi.
Maybe
It would be a
Spear
very
Yumi.
mobile
It's hard to
army
tell.
composition. That's
Spears.
Spearman.
Okay.
Yep.
And Yumi's, obviously.
Balanced army composition. I mean, I guess maybe MarineLorD's just going to ignore the outpost, go for the other gold, outpost that one on both sides. That could be a play.
There's not a whole lot sitting on that anyways right now. Beasty just has that one tower. He's kind of vacated the area otherwise. I think the spears are just kind of sitting hunky-dory inside. But other than that, Beasty seems content just to kind of sit back, age up. Probably, we'll see what he does once he gets into the feudal age. But there is a bit of a window to catch back up from MarineLorD.
And MarineLorD
He
is
is,
actually moving out
pro
onto
spearing.
the deer and berries. No, he is moving out to the gold. Okay. So as expected, he is going to try and just ignore the outpost right in front of his base and instead play
around.
onto the next gold vein.
That's probably smart. It'll expedite his castle timing if he can get up there instead of having to waste energy on that. However, Beasty, of course, sees this, clearly.
He's got all the vision in the world right now. This makes so much sense as well. We are seeing the reaction stable and archer range. Yeah, you can just go full aggression now up against this.
Yeah. I think that will be the plan here. The Khan already zeroing in on the target. Progressing the
And you
wolf.
always
No way
gotta
that wolf
have
goes to...
the movement speed advantage here as well, because you already have the Amora right next to the point that you want to hit.
That tower right there just helping out. That tower from Beasty really was well placed.
That just gives him so much control now over this area. And we actually got Mangadai coming in. Okay. Wants to get some mobile raiding force in.
Interesting choice. I'm not sure if I love that choice, but who am I to question Beasty at this point, right?
It's a choice. Mangadai are always great to just have a couple of, because you can always just run around with them, be annoying on the sides. It's never bad to at least have a couple of them in. Maybe they're not the greatest in like head-to-head engagements.
Oh, of course not. No, but I think
just
if
being
you were to go
able to
mass
annoy
Mangadai,
your
that
opponent.
would be a choice. But going just two, just to go poke and prod, I do like that.
Being Keshik's now being added in on top of everything else. Yeah, we got the Khan Hunter behind this as well. And more Mangadai adding queue. A lot of villagers on gold. I think this is just like gonna be feigned aggression from BC. He's just gonna put up a couple of units here and there. And behind that is just gonna go for Castle Age as well as a follow-up. We're not trying to get a wall up here, but now the Mangadai are there in time. Spearmen aren't going to be doing too well here, but does have a Yumi Archer there as well to help out.
Yeah, you imagine that Marine would like to get this wall up and just secure the backsides. We can't keep getting these
Khan's Hunter took some tower
pass-throughs.
shot. Yeah, Khan's Hunter took some shots from the TC. Just a good bit of HP there. And BC won't be able to do too much damage here. This
No, too many
could
Yumis.
get walled up.
MarineLorD will be able to secure that, but it does kind of elicit that response, though, from MarineLorD, right? Like, even if he is feigning the aggression, look how many more military units MarineLorD has right now.
Yeah,
He's definitely gotten him to produce a lot in response to a rather
Beast is close to
relatively low
aging up.
investment. Yeah, and that's the benefit, right? Is he's done this, he hasn't invested too much, and he's already just about a minute away from clicking up.
Yeah, and Castle Age gets us closer and closer to what I think many people would currently describe to the demon landmark for Mongols, the Kagan Palace. Just such an insane landmark at the moment. It's very similar how it works compared to the Sultan's Tower landmark from from the Delhi. Main difference is that you don't just get one type of unit, but you get a lot of different. It's a little bit of gamba. Sometimes you get 5 Hu powers in a row and you just lose within the next minute. Other times you get like 3 times Palace Guards, Roost Knights immediately, then you get Warrior Monks and whatnot, and it's pretty strong.
To your point, here's the step readout coming out, not the curl tie, which to me says he does want to play for an Imperial game. He wants that bonus gold ASAP. So I think that definitely is on the table, and production's letting us know that Cow really wants you to know, Cracky, that Cognate is around 1,300 resources a minute.
Yeah, I gotta have him check those numbers, because I got in mind that it's like 500 and then up to 700 to 800 for Military Academy. Do note that Improved Military Academy does not work with Kaganet. It's bugged. It doesn't work. Don't get it. It's not worth it.
We do see a small engagement there that MarineLorD is able to fend off Beasty's units. It's now 20 to 6 military units. MarineLorD should be suspicious that something's up. This Beasty's really not being very aggressive right here at all. The Castle Age obviously coming up, so he now is aware of that fact. I'm curious what MarineLorD's response will be
the gold
in relation to
villagers.
this.
Yeah. Did manage to clean up the outpost though, so now it's on the second gold, or rather the first gold mine as well.
MarineLorD's almost able to age up himself. Just a little bit more gold, a little bit more food.
MarineLorD's pushing in at the same time now. Outpost getting rushed up though.
I think he senses that BC's not been making a lot of military production units. Not been doing a lot of units, and so is going to take a look and see. And this right here, seeing this is going to let him know everything he needs to know. Now he has an idea of what BC probably wants to do. Whether or not it's going to be for a quick Imperial Age or not, we'll see. But it definitely puts it on the table.
Floating gate now coming in, so we do have Mounted Samurai on the menu for sure, I want to say. At least that's a flavor of the year when it comes to Japanese Castle Age.
It's probably their best unit, right?
Else.
I mean, I'm trying to think of what better they can make other than those Mounted Samurai. Like, you don't have a lot of other better options as Japanese.
I mean, this is... overall, looking at the best army composition for Japanese just has to be like Onabuggeisha and Mass Mounted Samurai. Those together just absolutely synergize.
They really do. MarineLorD walking around the base, looking for a place to maybe poke and prod. I'm sure he's more than ready to dish back some of the aggression back to Beasty after having his stuff towered for so long. Gonna catch a monk out and about. He'll go down. Eventually.
He'll go down.
Speedy little dude,
sometime this year.
And he's quick.
The archers are fast, but they're not that fast. There we go.
That dude was a cross-country runner. I love how he's reaching towards the relic there as he was dying. Trying to get to his goal. Couldn't get there in time. There's
Behind
those
us
Mangadai
now
again.
Also, Beasty's going into veterancy on the archers. Is he still trying to go for an archer ball? I'm not sure if he's trying to go for an archer ball or if he actually wants to go for a transition into Imperial Age.
I'm like not getting a sense one way or another, right? It feels like he's kind of stuck in the middle. I'm wondering if food is a big issue here. As we see, he's running out of sheep. I need to go find some external sources of food to keep him going.
He's going on the
berries. Not making a ton of units.
This could be getting a little bit rough for Beasty. He's not like too committed either to Imperial Age or Castle Age. And wait, what?
He just gives up. What?
He throws in a towel? Okay, that's unexpected.
I mean...
Is that a crash?
We were kind of sitting there wondering what was going on.
Okay, we're trying to figure out what exactly that was. Whether that was Beasty giving up or if it was a crash. Because if Beasty just gave up, then I think that might actually be like affecting the mental a little bit. Hey, it looks like Beasty actually gave up as he's calling the next map. So maybe just very unhappy with the game situation. That's really rough, though, because Mongols, in theory, is a pretty good matchup up against Japanese.
Wow. Huh. I mean, we were not ready to call it one way or another. We were waiting to see what he was going to do. And maybe he just... Oh. I'm curious, because I felt like he didn't have enough units made, but it felt like if he was playing for an Imperial Age, he should have had more resources in the bank. I'm kind of at a loss of words as to what just happened.
Yeah, it's a little bit
Maybe it's just the
unexpected.
food. Maybe it's just the food. Maybe it's just the fact he had no food and he just had nowhere to go and wasn't ready
You know
for
what
it.
the plan is? Beasty wanted to have it be a 3-0 so he can do an impressive reverse sweep. That's
He's got MarineLorD right where he wants him. He's got him right
now
where he
he's
wants
got a
him.
civilization to do it with. We're seeing Delhi up against Juji, and you know my stance on Delhi. I think Delhi is a pretty impressive civilization when it comes to their strength in the game. And we're seeing MarineLorD with Juji's Legacy up against that. And Juji's Legacy up against Delhi, I'll say that much. I've been known to play the occasional game up against May, who loves playing Delhi on the ladder. I play Juji up against him, and it's still really tough. People are telling me, what do you mean? Juji are like really hard counter Delhi. Then I see other people try and play Juji up against May. They also lose. I think, honestly, Delhi is such a sleeper build when it comes to just how strong they are, and people just don't talk about it enough, which is why I'm giving you this PSA to draw attention to Delhi just being really good at a civilization. Please don't play them when you're up against me. If you do, I will feel very bad.
We've all got that one civ that's a thorn in our sides, right? For me, it's Zushi. I hate
it. Changes
against
every season.
Like I play Ayubids, and so every time I go against Zushi, I'm getting ram rushed in Feudal Age, and it's like, please don't do that. Like I can win, it's just super duper annoying. So please don't do it. But people do anyways. But everyone's got that one civ that they hate. And Delhi, to your point, Delhi is a very good civ. They have a lot going for them.
They got the best landmarks in the game.
You say that, then I look at like what Rus has, and I feel like they've got better landmarks, and HRE's got the best landmarks in the game.
It's Aachen Chapel. It's built into the civilization.
It's
they
Aachen
get inspiration
Chapel,
one way
Regnitz,
or the other.
and then Swabia. That's okay. You can't say it's built in. Every civ has their landmarks built
strong.
in.
Regnitz more strong. It's not that strong anymore.
But then you got Palace of Swabia, and that thing is just cracked.
Nah, Swabia isn't even nearly as
we're
strong
talking
as
who's got the best choices all around.
No.
You got Rus has got a lot of good choices. You can't tell me Delhi has the single best.
I'll draw you this picture. I've seen Beasty play HRE, one of his best civs, multiple times up against Maze, Delhi, and lose. Therefore, Delhi is the strongest civilization in the game.
I'm hearing you just say Maze Delhi all the time, so I'm feeling like the crux here is May playing Delhi, not just Delhi.
Delhi. Okay, I'm gonna replace May with Delhi one trick. I've seen Beasty lose to Delhi one tricks on ladder. There we go. We're not even giving out any names at this point in time.
Just saying a one trick. I still will contest that they may be one of the best civs. I don't know if I would say they have
HRE's
the
really
best
strong,
landmarks. Yeah. HRE's landmarks are really good, and Rus has some of the best landmarks, hands down.
I'm getting out the calculator and I'm telling you,
oh no,
don't underestimate Delhi. Like they save like 120 resources per minute there.
I'm not going to underestimate that. I'm just going to look at Rus's landmarks and go, I mean, they've got like either they've got the choice between the Kremlin or the Golden Gate, which Golden Gate might just be the best landmark in the game. And then they got the what is it?
Actually, Socrates, Golden Gate in theory is only 50 resources per minute when you think about it.
But the synergy with it, right? The way it synergizes with the Civ and lets you do what you need to do.
Oh man.
I'm gonna hold that. I don't know if I would say Delhi's got the best landmarks. Now, I'm not gonna say they have bad landmarks. However, they do have very good ones. So I'll agree in part.
Look at it this way. Look at it this way. We're talking about Kaganet Palace as like a demon landmark at the moment. It's like in between 700 to like 900 resource per minute with Military Academy. Yeah. Then you look at Sultan's Tower, and that's like a solid 1300 because you get like normal tower elephants, but then you get tower elephants with hand cannoneers on them.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give you this. It's the best. They have the best imperial landmark. I mean,
Delhi is one of the civilizations in the game.
It's one of the civilizations in the game. It's not even the most banned. That's the funniest thing is that HRE and Rus are still banned more.
Yeah, because like people underestimate it. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes. I hope we're not gonna see a similar situation to last game where we're not sure what's going on. It's just suddenly it ends. But
very anticlimactic. That was very anticlimactic. A little unfortunate turnout there. Would not have guessed that would be the outcome going into that game, but we've got one more coming in. So Cracky, you're telling me then that you hate Delhi so much that you would maybe not ban Rus or HRE in lieu of Delhi?
Yeah, honestly, Delhi is a prio ban for me if I was playing tournaments.
Okay. All right. That's okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough. So then you would not
throwing
ban
that out
like
there.
so you would ban Delhi and then like Achery or Roos, and then your third
I would
brew would
ban
be one of those
Delhi
if they
and
fall to
Roos.
it.
I don't
Okay.
mind playing against HRA. Honestly, ever since traps are more usable now with sprinkled nerfs, or like sprinkles just being different now, I think you can honestly take on HRA Fast Imperial Age. But that's not the matchup that we're talking about. We are going into our game number 4, potential match point for MarineLorD. This is already 3-0 in this set. We got Beasty in the color yellow, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, and MarineLorD playing Juji's Legacy in the color pink. This is on Dry Arabia, the driest of Arabias, some might say.
I've always disliked the
green
term dry Arabia for this map. It's not deserty enough to feel dry. You know, there's trees, there's berries.
Wrong
I've always
biome.
thought it should be called something nice, like meadow. But I get the historical reasons why it's called what it is. But yeah, anyways, on the ropes, Beasty. Needing a game here to continue this series. Otherwise, it's going to be a 4-0 for MarineLorD.
Slightly less humid Arabia.
Slightly less humid. Although, of course, Beasty has your favorite Civ here to win any game in any given matchup. So, if there was ever a chance, this would be it, right?
Yeah, sure. So, oh, this is a pretty good spawn here. This is a MarineLorD spawn here. Look at that. You got the stone, the gold right next to each other, and the berries. That's a pretty safe Medigarden at home.
Oh man, that's just asking for it, right? Just meditation cards right there. Yep. That's going to be really
Could
good
also
in a couple
play it
seconds.
a little bit more risky, put on the other side and get an additional 25 stone per minute, like 50 stone per minute.
I mean, I don't see why not, right? It's still pretty close to home.
It's free real estate.
It's free real estate. So if you're Beastie then, obviously you're playing for the sacred sites. You're playing to deny those pro scouts that MarineLorD's probably going to go for. Are you looking to get up to Castle Age fairly quickly then?
It makes a little sense. Like, you can do that. You can just make a couple of units, couple of Ghazi Raiders, be annoying, delay your opponent, and go for the age up behind that. That's a way Delhi can play. You can also try and just... something that you can very easily do, I think, as Delhi in general, is just delay your opponent, keep them in feudal age, deny the pro scout, and just slowly wait for your own pro scout to come in for free. Get the deer in. And from there on out, like, as soon as you get Castle Age with like 10... 12 scholars in, you're getting upgrades quicker than any other civilization. And we do have a double berry Medigon. Okay. It's not getting that many berries in, but I guess this makes sense. Like, you couldn't care less about stone in this landmark.
Yeah.
You could slightly care less about stone, but yeah. This can make sense. Yeah. Because MarineLorD probably knows that it's not going to be too easy for him to get pro scouts in up against Ghazi Raiders.
Yeah. Dome of the Faith coming up for Beastie. Not surprised there. We're not going to be seeing the excitement of the Tower of Victory, but Dome of the Faith. I feel like for a while there, Tower of Victory was very much in vogue, and now it has once again become kind of a joke in many cases.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Dome of the Faith, it's just... Why go Juji with Meditation Garden and you gamble between like 60 to 100 resource per minute when you can pick Delhi, and no matter what, every single game you'll save 120 resource per minute with Dome of the Faith. That's value right there. Yeah, I'll go on a Delhi hate all day long. We'll come back to this later on.
It's funny because it's like your least favorite Civ to play against and my current least favorite Civ to play against. Actually, I say that. I really don't mind Zushi that much. More annoying than difficult, I feel like.
Say something positive about Delhi.
Say something positive about Delhi? I like their Ghazi Raiders. They're fun to play with.
I think... God, this is actually hard. Sorry, I can't think of anything at the moment.
Can't think of anything? That's funny.
They make me feel things about the game that I don't want to feel.
I've reached a point
maybe
where
that's
like,
a
there's
positive
so many...
thing. Maybe that's a positive thing for Delhi.
I think I mentioned
Make
earlier
your
that there's
opponent
like
rage
so
quit
many.
in Civ select screen.
There's so many civs that have such a broken aspect to them. I mean, for Ayubids, it's the dervishes, right? It just feels so overpowered. For Delhi, it's the elephants. For I don't know, you name a civ,
everything.
there's something. You can either nerf everything, or you can just give every civ something that's ridiculously overpowered and frustrating. Because I mean, some people will mauled and tilt over JD and how good she as a unit can be. Some people are going to get mad at the synchronized shot that the yeomen have, even though it's been pretty well nerfed now. There's always something. There's always something. So I've kind of reached a point where I'm just kind of, I don't know. I've got my thing. My dervishes for my Ubids are overpowered, and I'm okay because I've got my one thing, and everyone else has got their thing, and just kind of vibing at this point. But
Behind this,
we
got MarineLorD now pro scouting. Yeah, this came in fairly quickly. Beasty hasn't managed to deny any pro scouts yet so far. MarineLorD behind this is also getting in his own spearmen, so should have the tools to deal with the Ghazi Raiders. Not sure if we have a response to the spearmen yet from Beasty. Slamming the deer for the moment. Yeah, it's going to be tough for MarineLorD to secure. Yeah. Enough spearmen yet to take a fight.
Beasty, of course, needs to win this to move on, so every little win he can get here is going to help him do that, and there's that archer range to match those spears, as you mentioned.
Beasty also following those scouts. Is going to go to the next deer pack. Can we quickly, just because I just saw chat asking for it, can we check the exact stats on the Medigarden? We've got 25 and 54. So a solid 79.
Not bad.
Almost nice.
Here is proving difficult for the Ghazi Raiders to get into. They're trying. That scout's weak. Will go down, but the Ghazi Raider dies for it. Another scout, half health.
You see really trying there to deny the pro scouts, but enough spearmen there from MarineLorD. Shuganu also being prepped into.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot, right? Just a couple spears is all you need to really defend that. Archer's going to get in a little too late.
In the game, time for the ding ding ding, triple ding, sacred site. MarineLorD also prepping horsemen behind us, so Juganu and horsemen now coming in for him. Dude, he's already 1,000 food per minute. That's kind of crazy.
That's a lot a minute. And the tricky thing, though, is that he's going to consume that really quick, but once it's gone, he's going to have a backup plan. But that influx of food is going to help a bunch. And again, Delhi and Zushi are interesting to me because they both suffer from the same kind of detriment in that if you deny them their food, it gets really... I mean, this, of course, is true of any civ, but it feels like they consume so much food so quickly. If you deny that, or when it runs out, is when they kind of have a hard time. You can catch a good timing against them.
Yeah. MarineLorD moving out to the first middle sacred site. Beasty has some archers here, but it's going to get pushed off that first sacred site in the middle. Top one has been, or is about to be secured-ish. Never mind, there's also another unit from MarineLorD there. MarineLorD doing a great job at the moment when it comes to denying the sacred sites.
And not only is he getting his deer, he's also saying no to the sacred sites as that scholar's down to half health. It's probably not long for this world. Second raider coming in, horseman coming in, and that scholar, he dies a martyr.
Bottom sacred site looks to be taken, but units already on their way to decap. And also taking down the scholar.
Another! Oh no, that's two in quick succession. Boy, Beasty already behind here as MarineLorD. Not only is he just securing his own resources and doing what he wants to do, he's denying what his opponent wants to do.
Yeah. Beasty behind this is also now prepping the scouts for his own pro scout play. That's still a little ways off. Sacred side about to be decapped now.
This is early game, not looking great for Beasty.
Yeah. Looking kind of tough. Little raid on the wood line coming in. We're seeing some walls also coming in from the infantry from Beasty.
Ghazi's swirling around the back, circling around, looking for maybe a good place to raid. Not finding much, though. That wood line pretty close to the TC.
Not going for the wood line, yeah. MarineLorD, like, he's got a pretty decent army size at the moment going for himself. And behind this, he's not too far off from the next age if he just starts pulling villagers over to gold, as he's just done. He's going to be able to get the age up in fairly quickly. This timing is very immaculate. The army production from MarineLorD, it's not like he's just doubling down on the game plan. No, his army creation, like how much he invests, it's very fluid. He's not like doubling down on anything here. He made units enough to deny sacred sites, and behind that just immediately goes for the transition to Castle Age as soon as the opportunity provides itself.
Man, this is going to come in such a lightning speed. I imagine this is going to be a tough spot for Beasty, right? You're down 3-0. You're not really doing what you want to accomplish in Feudal Age, and your opponent's just jumping right past Feudal now and jumping into a castle. And once that happens, he's got a military in the field. It's going to get really tough to contest.
Honestly, like, just looking at MarineLorD, I feel like we're back to that era of MarineLorD just really playing clinical.
I mean, what mistakes has he made in this series? It's been very few.
Yeah, practice definitely paying off for him. Playing the strats. This is a little bit low on gold still.
Yeah, hasn't gotten that,
definitely
that gap
looking a little bit inflated.
Has the food, though. Beasty looking to get some kills if he can. Those Ghazi's making another circle, but there's not really a lot of exposed vills unless he wants to dive under the town center, which he's thinking about doing right here as he goes on and dives in. Looking for some kills. Yeah, the quick pull and the body block with the spears. Trying to get a hit.
Gets a villager.
1.
2 maybe? Oh, the
maybe
body
2
block.
or 3.
Maybe 3? That's very great value for that dive. Loses 3 Ghazi Raiders, but kills 3 villagers? That's worth it.
Yeah, good raid there. Definitely worth it. Will it be enough is the question, though. He needs to do that times like 10. But every little bit, you know, gets you where you need to be a little bit more. So Beasty will take the small wins where he can get them at this point. He really has no room for error at this point with 3-0. Needs the win to continue the series. Starting to, you know, I will say military numbers are pretty close to even. However, the Montlou Academy has been dropped down by MarineLorD. Castle Age is imminent.
And now a raid on Beasty's farming economy. Well, not farming economy, but the Barry villagers. Doesn't react, goes for a drop-off, but is also going to lose 2 villagers here. So some evenish raids from both players on both sides. As a race to the turret coming in now.
That feels kind of rough, right? You do a little bit of a punch, you're feeling good about the raid, and then suddenly you've dropped 2 of your own, you're only up by +1.
Yeah.
And now, Castle Age. And if you're Beasty at this point, you're sitting there scratching your head going, oh, great, I don't have a single sacred site right now. And I'm down in age. And it seems that my opponent has close to the same number of military units. As clearly he can see, everything's right there.
Yeah, the deer economy, the deer income's just looking really, really good. Upgrades now coming in for the Jugunu as well. We're about to be seeing the increased supervision speed upgrade making its way through as well from the Montlou Academy. So once that's in, these units are just going to fly off the shelves here from MarineLorD.
Gosh, what does Beasty do here?
Well.
I'm feeling a little worried. I think this... Like, I would not have suggested that this would be a 4-0 series, but if he loses this fight, it's probably over.
It's feeling very rough now. Veterancy in on the Jugunu came in just now, and now you can't really take that fight anymore. Ghazi Raiders would get torn apart. It comes to a fight. He's still trying to make something happen here, but now we're also getting some mounted, some lances coming in. And at the same time, another raid. Has some Ghazi Raiders to protect, though.
I think this game is over, and sure enough, in quick succession, 4-0 goes to MarineLorD. Nothing going for Beasty this series as MarineLorD takes a sweep. I don't think anyone had that on their bingo cards coming in, but within another quick game, only 13 minutes and 11 seconds, clock it, MarineLorD is moving on to the finals to face Louis.
Yeah, honestly, very much unexpected here between these two giants in the game, honestly. Beasty, yeah, 4-0 for MarineLorD in the end, and that means MarineLorD, as you mentioned, he's going to be up in the finals, in the grand finals tomorrow, up against Louis MT and Beasty. He's going to have to duke it out against CSO for 3rd place.
I don't think anyone expected this outcome. I mean, I don't think I would have been surprised if either player had won the series, but I did not expect a clean sweep either direction. But it just felt like, I don't know if there's just something off with Beasty's games today. It just felt like every time he'd try and get going, he just had the bad timing and he was down in age. I mean, we saw this, I think, 3 separate games. MarineLorD gets aged up to Castle Age, and Beasty just stuck in Feudal.
I cannot use this game as an example to get Delhi nerfed. Sad.
No, unfortunately not for you. They just looked. It looked like he had nothing going, right? I mean,
It was just
MarineLorD.
incredibly clean from MarineLorD, to be
Yeah,
fair. Like playing
yeah,
around the sacred sites like that, always making just enough units, finding the point in time to transition to the next stage. It just looked very, very solid here overall for MarineLorD. And yeah, I mean, very well deserved. Is going to be able to make it through to the grand finals now.
yeah. And MarineLorD, as we said, has been playing just clinical lately, and he was able to beat Puppy Paw in a competitive series, but did much of the same, just very, very few mistakes, if any. And this series, the same thing, just playing clinically like precise in every movement he had. I don't know if I can point to more than one or two slight mistakes, if at all, and takes it 4-0. I mean, what a turn of events this has turned into be.
We're gonna have an interview with MarineLorD. No worries, we don't need a translator for that one. MarineLorD's perfectly capable of speaking English, trust me. So we're gonna be jumping into that interview right now. So give it up for MarineLorD. All right, yep. MarineLorD, first of all, congratulations on making it through to the grand finals. That was a pretty quick set. How do you feel after a 4-0 against Beasty like that?
Yeah, it was surprising, especially the way he left game 3 and 4. I feel like he was kind of tilted, I guess, because usually he tends to stay very long into games. But obviously he was kind of dead, so I understand why he left. I don't know, I didn't really expect this, but I was expecting to win pretty well. Like, it's been a while since my win rate in practice has been that good. And for like the whole tournament, my practice was going pretty bad. And this last week, or like the last 2 weeks, it went way better than before. So I feel like I understand the meta a bit more than before. And yeah, I don't know, it went well.
Yeah, I gotta say, like looking at the games, it definitely felt like what we've previously been used to. Like very, very clinical play, very well played, just reading the situation in the game to the perfect ladder and just knowing exactly how to play the different matchups. It looked really solid from you. How are you feeling? Like you mentioned a little bit your practice so far, that you've recently been feeling a lot better about your practice. Up against Louis MT, I guess I saw you earlier, so I'm quite sure you saw the set between Louis and CSO. What do you think your chances are up against Louis? Because he's also been like looking really, really solid recently.
I mean, okay. Last year, he beats me in Elite Classic in group stage. And then I 4-0'd him in playoff. So hopefully it goes the same way this time, since he beat me again. But he's in very good shape. I think he has a different read on the meta than me. I mean, we are kind of similar, but on some picks he is a bit different. So I'm not sure how it's gonna go. But I feel very confident. I think I should be fine.
Right. I want to just quickly pick your brain a little bit because, yeah, you mentioned like the game number 3. Just looking at the game stage, because like I honestly I didn't even notice, like at some point you suddenly took down the outpost. How are you feeling overall when it came to the game situation? Like did you think you were fine in that game overall? Because every time you play, like somebody plays Japan against Mongols and that outpost goes up, it's obviously very rough because it's just such a big amount of pressure on you as a Japanese player. Did you always want to go for just ignore the outpost, go for the gold, or was that just something where you were like, okay, it's my only option in this situation?
It depends on the spawn. So if I get a better spawn with my gold, I could go for pretty much any play like racks and push deer, and then I can age up and be fine. But since my gold was forward, I felt like just going for an age up and then reacting to what he was doing. So like if you went, for example, for racks into dock, I would go shinobi. If you went just for a toggle rush, I would just go for archer and spears, because I saw my second gold was pretty safe and my food was decent. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave this gold and I'm gonna take the rest and I should be fine, because I think Japanese is pretty good right now. So you just need to get a lot of archer and then you get the Bannerman, and it's a very strong sieve in feudal. It's underestimated, I think.
Yumi archers definitely seem to be on the rise at the moment. Definitely a civilization, or rather a unit that like there was just a slight buff, and suddenly, yeah, now they're a lot more common nowadays. All right, once again, thank you, MarineLorD, for being here. Very well played today, and we will be seeing more from you tomorrow in the grand finals. So once again, congratulations, and now we let you rest.